Science Network was a concept that came up when we were together as friends, just sitting somewhere, and it was founded in 2019 by Her Excellency Rosella Rasanga, Dr. Elizabeth Omondi, and I, Dr. Clary Odhiambo. It started as a job because we asked ourselves, how do we utilize Nyathi and Mwandu, and how do we help the community? Because we realize most of our children cannot read at age 10. Most of our children don't attend school. Most of our youth come up and they have no better training. Therefore, we learned that they need a better foundational learning skill that will build them to become acceptable people in the society. So through this, we formulate poems on Nyathi and Mwandu Science Network that shows that your child is your wealth. You need to give a strong foundation earlier. When we start, we look at the sustainability of Nyathi and Mwandu, and we realize we need to rope in other scholars, other stakeholders, and this is when we realize we need to put people on board as social entrepreneurs. We need educators, we need parents, we need caregivers, and the children themselves. So, Nyathi and Mwandu Science Network help the child educate their parents at home, at church, at play moment. It is sensational as this feeds the information to the parents. Foundational learning is of future and of understanding to the whole world. When we teach learners at foundational level, they will never depart from it. And this is even spelled in the book of Proverbs 6:22. That train a child in the way he should go, when he grows up, he will never depart from it. Evidence-based research tells us that early years are crucial and we must do all that we can to support children and families to adapt and advocate for early childhood development. When we look at Nyathi and Mwandu Science Network, and the objective is to have a well and holistic developed child through to adulthood, we realize that early years influence lifelong health and behavior. It promotes life skills and self-reliance through to adulthood, and to achieve this, we must start it at foundational level. Here, we realize that we have a curriculum in place, but the curriculum in the country, the Kenyan curriculum, looks so transformative, but we ask ourselves questions. Why is it that we cannot change our learning environment and produce learners who can work with acceptable skills, who are morally upright? We realize that this is a gap and we need to look at it to be able to achieve the SDG 4 goals. And this can only be done at foundational learning.
In many jurisdictions, early childhood is something that is given a lot of priority, a lot of emphasis. Here in Kenya, we are having the early childhood from conception to 2 years being managed by a different ministry. In some other countries, it is just one. We had to harmonize the operations in health and operations in education. We have a multi-sectoral committee that runs that program.
Learning need to be of quality, and through quality early childhood, we will have access to education, access to health care and nutrition, mental health and socio-emotional well-being of the learners, early care and education policies, parents' education and adult education, family and community intervention. This qualifies the belief that early childhood and primary is the most important asset any country that needs to transform its society can be measured upon. It identifies early childhood education and primary policies as at the center of child's growth and development. It is in this quest that we connect ECD policies that underlines development in Africa and the world. Our recommendation from community intervention on early childhood and foundational learning is we ask ourselves this question: how to achieve the SDG 4 goals? Number 1, we need to increase the number of people with relevant skills for financial success by 2030. We also need to education for self-reliance. As Mwalimu Kabarege Julius Nyerere puts it, that learners should come out of school when they are self-reliant. They can create jobs, they can be innovative, they can be analysts when we go to education and technology, they can match the skills that are needed in the industrial world, as we have industrialization coming up in Kenya. Let's have youth and the middle-aged men men and women who can develop jobs or create jobs for other youths who are coming up for the future generation, such that we don't talk of lack of employment, but create employment through foundational learning.
The first thing we did was to create an environment where policy formulation and even implementation is very smooth. Our systems and our structures that are already there are strengthened with what we already have.
At Nyathi and Mwandu Science Network, we also learned that children learn best through play, and we rope them in play activities that are very natural, where children engage in voluntary play without clear objectives, and also effective in teaching and learning, since it involves use of senses that are with the learners and satisfy their developmental needs. Play enables children to learn a wide range of cognitive, social, and physical skills. When you look at John Dewey, he advocates for children to be taught through play activities that are pre-planned with clear objectives, while allowing group and classroom interaction among children. Realizing the importance of play in children, at Nyathi and Mwandu, we have developed learning materials. We have written books for learners to read during their play, and they also play at sand play. This is very important, and we have seen this by contrast researchers such as Albert Bandura unanimously agree that play is an important means of an important means of teachers that stressing on the social cognition, hence providing opportunities for internalized actions to be acted upon. He stated that children must understand their work and internalize actions so that they can memorize what they have learned, and hence they are not taught through rote learning. Play materials are availed and help children to unleash their hidden potentials and also learn how to solve problems. They will develop problem-solving skills. Maria Montessori also stressed on the use of play materials in training and teaching concepts and skills. Children develop cooperation and teamwork during play as they play along each other. Foundational learning is the oxygen that the world needs to address all the world's life challenges. For example, when we have well-developed learners or children, there will be no insecurity. The security will be paramount, and the government will spend very less money on security. We'll also, when we have well-foundational learners, education and health and nutrition will be at par. Education and technology, education and equity, education and climate change, education and agribusiness, education skills and attitude knowledge will be addressed at one go. Our recommendation as Nyathi and Mwandu Science Network is that we need to retrain teachers on foundational learning. We need to deploy professors and PhD holders in education to teach at foundational learning so that the end product at the university will be perfect. Will be learners who know what they want, who know what the society needs, and transform their society right from the community level, not only in urban areas. Because most of professors live in urban areas, and when they come to the society, to the community, they expect to find what is in urban areas, yet they never brought it back when they learned at the university. Even learners that we are training, we should train them to bring development back at the grassroots, and that will bring us, will help the society and the world address political unrest in African countries, because the youth will be developed all around. We also need to embrace change and learn out of this duty so honoring. Nyathi and Mwandu Niemise Motegno Chon. Your child is your wealth. Give them a better foundation as early as possible. Thank you. God bless Kenya. God bless Africa. God bless the whole world as we transform education. Thank you very much.
You are this happy angel. You are the caregiver. A duty so honorable. A child is a gift from God. A blessing indeed. If well nurtured, the brain develops rapidly, and the child thrives in life. By talking to the child, showing love, you will understand them and teach them accordingly. Your child is a wealth. Give the child a strong foundation. The first 2 years of life are the most important days in life. The child needs adequate nutrition, good health, safety and security. The child is not ready to learn. Begin to teach your child to read at a tender age, and he will develop love for it. Teach your child with love what is good and what is bad. Play with your child, share stories, and teach your child age-appropriate activities. Your child is a wealth. Give the child a a strong foundation. A child well cared for is beneficial in the future, beneficial to parents, beneficial to the community and the world at large. A child is like a young tree that grows so easily, but if well nurtured, bears good fruits. At an early age, you make the doctor you want, the distinguished teacher, the church minister, among others. A child is a gift from God, a great gift indeed. Your child is a wealth. Give the child a strong foundation. To everyone listening to this great message, please spread it everywhere. Regular interaction and stimulation will support the child's brain to develop. Your availability and your responsive actions will make the difference. It is God's desire that you train your children in the way they should go, and when old, they will not depart from it. Your child is the child a strong foundation. Thank you.
Amen. Amen.
Audio Jungle.